We thank you and appreciate the way you have been with us. I want to thank the Father Michael for allowing this gentleman to come to our place several times, and the entire congregations. When he's in our diocese, he's no longer a visitor, he's no longer a friend, but he's at home. So we thank you that you have allowed him to be at home. And we thank you for sending some to come and visit us, especially my brother there. I see him, who visited our place, moved to different parishes, see how we are doing. I remember my last time when I came here, 2019, my word was say, come and see. And up to now, this is where we are. Come and see what we are doing. Come and join us. Come and be with us. Come and pray with us. Come and see what is going on. You can advise us from the ground. So we have thank you for brothers and sisters who came to Kibungo Diocese. Thank you for the brother, and thank you so much. And kindly receive the greetings from my dear wife Joyce. She sends her regards. The clergy, the lay leaders, and even all the Christians, they knew that I'm here today. So they pray for you every Sunday, even our morning devotion at the diocese, because we have the morning devotion from Monday to Friday. We always remember you and pray for you. We know we are journeying together for the glory of his kingdom. So I don't want to take much of your time. When I was here in 2019, we experienced much growth, and we thank God for that. And you contributed for that. You contributed for that in our prayers, even in different actions that were taking place in our diocese. So now we have 5 immediate key focuses in the diocese, and this is my 14th year as the bishop, so I'm remaining with 3.5 years to get away from the administration, but I will remain in his service after my departure. So these are the 5 immediate key focused areas for the Diocese of Kibungo that we are focusing on. And we are inviting you to be with us in prayers, in all ways that you can be with us, but more especially in prayers. We know what our prayers do. These 5 things, the major one that we are focusing on, in our area, many churches are closed. They are closed because we are lacking some requirements that the government said you have to have this and this. There are some people who are saying that the government of Rwanda is abandoning the church, there is a persecution. No, it's not. In 2018, they say we need this standard. You have to meet this standard. So due to the COVID and the inability to do the work quickly as they wanted, so we have that kind of setback. So now let us say the government meeting the regulation, the opening the churches. Before November, that's before September, it is September 2012, churches were opened. Now, 13 churches are opened out of 212. You can imagine. Only 13 are working out of 212 churches. We can take an example of the Rwamagana Archdeaconry, where we have the 10 churches. Only one is opened. So you can imagine the situation we are in. These 13 which are working, they are in different archdeaconries. And the Chibungo Diocese operates in 4 districts. So the district of Rwamagana, we have one parish, just one church working. In district of Kayonza, another one church. By the Ngoma, we have 3. Then Chile, you have the 5. So all of them, there are 13 who are working. And 10 of them, they are at the parish level. Then 3, they are congregations. So this is where our heart is. This is where our prayers are focused. This is where we're inviting you to be with us, to pray for this. So we to work as much as we can so that we can move from 13 at least to 70. That's what we are trying to do. So then number 2, which we are focusing on, we have 13 students in the theological studies. In our area, they say somebody to become a pastor must have a degree in theology, or you must have a degree in another field. Then you do the postgraduate diploma in theology. So when I became a bishop in 2012, when I had visitors, I used to go to Kigali Diocese to bring my friends to come and help me. So nobody among the pastors was moved beyond the primary. So what I did, I tried to put them in crash programs, to train them, to put them in theological college for certificates, for diplomas, so that we can be able to run the church and then try to raise the young ones. We are very grateful for that. That method helped us to put up the churches, the congregations, and even sending people to go to college. With your love and support and prayers, these are the people who graduated from the college. Thank you so much for supporting them. Thank you for your prayers. These are the people who graduated from the college. Then, but we still need more to go to college. Currently, we have 13. 4 are in Theological College in Rwanda, 3 are in Uganda. Those are for the bachelor degree in theology. Another one is in Zambia for master's degree in ecumenical working with other churches. Then we have others in the postgraduate diploma, so they are totaling to 13. But by God's grace, we hope that by the end of this year, at least more than 50 churches should be opened. But we don't have the people to take care of those churches. It is another challenge we have, because there are few compared to the number of the churches we have. But the struggle continues. We are praying to God, and we believe that God will do something. So when I went to Chibungo in 2012, my young daughters, 2 daughters, I failed where to take them to school. And I took them to the boarding school when they were still young. So what happened in my home? So I told my wife, okay, you cannot take them to school. You cannot visit them. I'm the one to do that. For you, you will go and bring them. Why? He was taking them, crying with the children. And when she visited them, she was crying with them. I said, no, you are not doing good to them. So go and bring them. So I'm the one to take them so that they can. So now, my first background is education. I did education, was the teacher and the headmaster before I joined the ministry. So I started a school at the diocese, as at least to help the people who can come to the place. So I'm very happy to tell you that that school has multiplied. Now you have the 3 good primary schools, and they are the reference, they are called the School of Excellence in that area. Currently we have almost 900 pupils in those 3 schools. So we thank God for that. So the government has requested us to start another school in Kibale. We are done with the 3 classrooms there, but we are still continuing to do that. And we are, all these schools, the 7 own primary schools, the government is approaching us, please, have more. Have more. Why? Our schools are very different. They stand on 3 pillars, our schools. The academic excellence, Christian ethics, and discipline. So now the people, they are saying, no, why can't you extend it to our area? We need a school like this one. The children who can say hello, who knows how to pray, who are smart, who are disciplined. So now that's why our schools have more children in the area. So we thank God for that. Doing that. Then we have a secondary school working on that. Currently, we are putting up a library and office. I'm unfortunate I did not come with the picture of the office, but we have finished the roofing. We hope by the end of this year, the library and administration block will be in a good shape. And we thank God for that.
Bishop, would you explain that that's Agape is the school that we refurbished the boys' dormitory?
The Agape Secondary School is totally a private school. The church owned the school without government support. So we had a challenge. The boys' dormitory got fire, was burnt. And we called you as brothers and sisters in the Lord. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for holding our hands. I want to thank you so much. So now we put up a very good boys' dormitory, and now more than 100 boys are staying in those dormitory. So we thank God for that. So it is there. So now we are applying the government to send us more students to come and be there. So that's where we are. And then we have the social and economic development. For the social and economic development, we are doing the evangelism through supporting the needy people. And we are supporting them major in 2 ways. 1, to have them in small saving associations, where they can put their effort together, pray together, study the Bible together, and then they contribute towards their development things. And in Rwanda, a country that has gone through the genocide, the issue of social is a key. Just people to be reunited, to be one as a citizen of the country. So another thing, Rwanda is a very small country. I don't know if these people have told you. It's a very small country and it is densely populated. You cannot have cows to some areas because you have nowhere to graze them. So the issue of the goats, you know the goats, they give birth 2 or 3, they multiply quickly, and they eat very little. And it does not need much care like cows. So we are, right, this one we are providing domestic animals. This one, they help them in 3 ways. 1, they have security mind that they have something that they are doing. They help them to pay for the fees and even pay for the medical insurance. And again, the little land they have, which they are tilling throughout. So they have the manure, which adds the utility in the land. So that we are working on that, and we thank you for those who have contributed to buy the goods, to give them. We are done with more than 27 parishes, but we are still going on. There are some which the Father Dan went to distribute the goods. I don't know if he has shown you the picture, but we thank God for that. This is the third. Then the first one. The first one is the building of the new cathedral. The old cathedral is very old and very small. And we want to thank God that these 14 years, we have experienced much growth. When I became a bishop in 2012, we had 27 parishes, the entire diocese. And the bishop told me, there are 27, but you have 22. Others are not working. So the papers, they are that, but they are 22. So we thank God that with much prayer, and thank God for that. So we have moved from that number. Before the close of the church, we had 44 parishes. And we have other 12 areas identified that we are nurturing to become the parishes soon. So now we say, let us build the cathedral. So we bought the land, thank God. We have money to buy the land. And we went to the architect to help us through this. It was approved by the Rwanda Building Authority that we can put up that church building. So that's where we are. If the churches were not closed, today we should have finished the foundation. But we stopped because of that. So this is what we are doing. And in Rwanda, because the land is small, you see these ones, you can see they are like the fences of the church. But in actual they are not the fence. They say the land is small, you can put there your cathedral, but alongside the main road, put there the shopping stores. So the people can use those ones. So we use the land as a multi-purpose, not using a plot for those things. So we are using that one. So it was accepted, it was approved. We should have started, but we delayed it because of that. But by God's grace, we believe that one day we shall move forward. So we need your prayers. Be with us in prayers. Then the number, so you mean you put that picture. So now, leaving the Herse Diocese to the future bishop, clergy, and Christians. As a teacher, to make sure that we know we have the common understanding, we established the 7 pillars that all the budgets, all the people to do in the diocese must follow that line. So now, he took the picture when I was marking. I always pass through the budget of the parishes to see if they have not diverted from those pillars. So I was in my office, I just working on that. So,
before you go from there, let me just put this into perspective for you. Father Michael would spend a lot of time listening to Archbishop Beach. And he'd come back and he'd put a strategic plan together for the diocese. Then he would submit the strategic plan to, well, he's a dean, so he'd get it too. But then that would be submitted to the Archbishop, who would look at it, and you see that yellow markings and the orange markings? In Africa, that is no. But the whole purpose of this is that every parish will be in step with the diocese. movement. And so the bishop looks at it, goes back to the archdeacon, who goes back to the pastor, and they work together, and in a short period of time, everybody is moving in the same direction. It's an incredible process. And that's the reason I included that picture.
Thank you.
You look marvelous in that picture.
Oh, thank you so much. So that's what we are trying to do. As I said that in this world, we come to work and go, not to stay. So that's what we are doing to the future bishop, the clergy, and the Christian, that they have a good place where they can continue preaching the good news of our Lord Jesus Christ. And we thank God, we're having the same direction. By the way, by the grace of God, out of 13 dioceses in Rwanda, 8 of them came to our diocese to learn how to work together so that we can be able to do something. So our effort is small, but when we put the effort together, at least we do something which is wonderful. And then we have the position, the diocese for the future growth. In our strategic plan, 2025, it was the year of stopping growth in the diocese. Nurture those 12 areas to become the parishes and prepare my departure. Because I wanted to have at least 50 parishes or something, which is, it was 50 and 57. Then prepare for the next call on my ministry in Kigali. Because when my retirement, I'm hoping to go to Kigali and be near the other retiring bishops, help the clergy, help the people who could come to me for advice, for counsel, and doing that. And God has blessed me with a plot there. So now I'm praying to have my small house in that plot. Because when we are in Rwanda, we serve when we're in a church house. The church, the house I'm living in, I'm the one who put it up when I get there. But the house belongs to the diocese, does not belong to me. So I will leave that house and so have my own house. So that's what these are the 5 focuses which we say that the finishing well. That's my prayer. And I always tell the people who loves me, please pray for the finishing well. So without taking much of time, if anybody who can, anything that you need to ask for better understanding, so the floor is yours. Thank you.
If you have any questions, I have the traveling mic, so just raise your hand. I'll bring it to you, and you can ask a question. If there are no questions, Bishop, it means that we've communicated what's going on in Rwanda pretty well.
If I have not confused them. So I hope you understand. Okay.
I was just curious, and Father Don, did not tell me this earlier, but what is the amount of money you're trying to raise to build the cathedral, and how many years do you expect it to take to finish?
We were strategizing for 4 years. And the cathedral, it was about 500 million Rwandan francs. And those 500 million Rwandan francs, so when you divide by 1,400 now, it's about, how much is that one? Something. So that's the money we have to raise. But before the church closure, we have raised 0.7 million from our people. Just 0.70 million it is already in the account of the diocese. So we opened the account for building the cathedral, so we raised that money, it is there. But it's very little you cannot start when the churches are closed. Because that one will be simple thing, and it can get lost without knowing that we have done that one. So that's why we're inviting for the prayers.
Bishop, in your first slide or so, you showed what looked like a new church with freshly peeled wood and so forth. The labor that goes into that is all from that parish, right? Who builds them? The people themselves, do they not?
The second slide, I think. No, first slide. This one. Okay, that
Yeah.
one. So now, where we are putting that school in Chibale, we have a sub-parish.
Yes.
That's the roof is done by the tree poles, you see,
Yeah.
and the iron sheets. But the government is say that because in our area we have the ant hills, which this one we can afford to the people. They say we need you to remove that one, raise, and then you put there the metro to iron to roof. So that's what most of the requirements that the government is telling us, that one is among.
But it seems to me, Bishop, that the fact that the parishioners themselves didn't put in labor themselves makes that more a binding force for you.
One of the things I want to point out about this, this is Chibari. Chibari was a sub-parish, and Chibari, because of the space, has been closed. But the important thing about this building, if you've, in talking about how they build, a parish will get together and they'll form teams or groups, and they will spend an entire day doing all the labor, and it's something to see. Those trees are eucalyptus trees. Those trusses are eucalyptus trusses. They were growing not too long before the church was built in a grove near the church. They chopped them down. They bark them. They bring them in. You see the benches. The benches were used to put the forms together for the concrete. And when the concrete is cured, they pull up the forms and they use wood for other things. But everything is locally sourced. The first time I went to Rwanda, we went to we went to Wintasha, and we were building a church at a crossroads, and I was helping bring poles up from the grove, and they were laughing as I was carrying a pole. And I asked Bishop, why were they laughing? And he said, oh, brother, they're surprised a man with gray hair, white hair, can carry a pole. So the labor that is done to build a church, yes, does bind the church together, and they give of themselves more than they could ever give in money.
Did you say this church is closed?
This church is closed, yes.
Yeah, it's among the closed churches.
But it's a perfect example of what we're dealing with, what the government was saying you couldn't do. You have to look at that and say, okay, from a standpoint of building, the wooden timbers would lend itself to a fire. Now all of the rafters must be metal and the roof must be metal. Okay? Any other questions?
So the building is still standing?
Building's still standing. We're building a school in fact, across the field from there. This area, the bishop was talking about it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk about,
please.
but I am talking about home, right?
Yes.
This area is one of the most highly populated areas in Rwanda, but it has the least number of churches. It has a lot of agriculture. And the struggle for us in Chibari was that we were renting that space. And that space also wasn't acceptable. Under the 2018 law, you cannot rent a building. You have to own the building. And the plot must be at least an acre. And so it's put a number of restrictions. Out of the 212 churches we had, I would say 25 to 30% of them were closed largely due to plot restrictions. The plots were too small, or we were renting, or whatever the reason was. I'm sorry. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Hold on.
Good morning. I was just wondering what happened to the leadership of the churches that were closed? What are they doing now?
It's a very big challenge. It's a very big challenge. It's very difficult to say to the church minister that to go home. It's very difficult for us. And yet we have not given them letters. The government say, these people are still working. You have to pay the taxes. Right. So the good thing that we thank God, when I went there, I initiated the partnership with the World Vision. I visited the Kenya. It is a desert area where the people are working for their own food. So I brought that system. Our pastors in my diocese, they have something to eat. They have where to stay. We have managed to put up their homes, the house for the pastors. So now, we say now, since we are not working, the little salary you are getting is not there because the salary raised from the parishes. But the government say, okay, you have to pay the taxes. So that's the challenge we have now. The taxes for the salaries of the little they get. So we have that big challenge, but we are still pushing on, praying and working on that.
I first went to Rwanda in 2019, the end of 2019, just prior to COVID. And one of the celebrations that we entered into while I was there is we actually dedicated 2 pastors' houses. But I also went to areas where there were 2 pastors' houses that had dirt floors. That's no more. Every pastor has an adequate home. Every pastor has around the church or around their home some land for agriculture, which does 2 things. It allows them to eat, and it allows them to take the products that have been raised and go to the market and trade it for other things that they might need. And so we're very, very thankful for that aspect, because you can imagine with the churches not having services, it's severely financially dampened the income. So
besides the government involvement requirements, is there other opposition to you establishing these churches? Are there anti-Christian movements or any other non-religious factions giving you problems?
let me answer that, Bishop.
Yes.
I think it's really important we hear what Bishop said initially. This is not an issue of the government restricting religion. This is a government that has hangover from 1994 and has vowed that that will not happen again. And they have worked very hard to ensure the safety and the welfare and the unity. That's really important. Yes. The unity of the people of Rwanda. The whole thing that drove 94 was the division of the people by the government. And so now we have in Rwanda a government that is about unification. If there's any issues about religious competition, it would be occasionally with the incursion of Islam. And one of the things that Bishop Emmanuel has been very forward-thinking in doing is through schools. Because one of the things that the Muslims will do, they will come to you and say, Vince, I know you want to send your children to school, but you can't afford it. So I will take your children into my school. I'll pay for their uniforms, but you have to convert to Islam. And so what the efforts by the Anglican Church in Rwanda, particularly in the Diocese of Kibungo, has really stymied that. And let me tell you, if you're a Muslim and you're walking down the street at an intersection and Emmanuel happens to be there, you're not going to go through the intersection without meeting him. I spent 2 days in Wintasha watching him greet every Muslim who came through the intersection and talking to them about Jesus Christ. So there is no restriction.
Yeah, in those 3 schools we have near the diocese, we have more than 50 Muslims bring their children. And some of them, they have accepted Jesus Christ.
Did that answer your question?
I will thank God for that. So the school, it has been really a way in for bringing the Muslims. And when we preach, when he comes on Sunday, then we preach and surrender the life to the Lord. They call me. I say, please take care of that person.
Yeah.
Take care of that person. So many people have come to the Lord from the Muslim community to our church, and we thank God for that.
How about the gas station?
Oh, the petrol station. We don't have we don't have gas stations in Rwanda. We have petrol stations.
Yes.
The predominant fuel in Rwanda is diesel. It's completed, and we're in the process of getting someone to run it. We have 1 or 2 legal papers that have to be finished, and then we can operate it.
But it is done.
Right.
Thank you. It is done.
Diocese owns, I guess, but it's a way of financing the ministry.
Right.
Yes.
There is a
Major highway, Tanzania, and it's a petrol station that the diocese owns and runs, and the income is generated from that property to support the ministry.
He knows. He's been there.
Yeah, yes.
He
yes.
knows. He's been.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell one of the ideas that the Anglican Church, first of all, you need to understand that the average income of a family in one of the villages is less than $2 a week.
Yes.
The churches are totally dependent on alms from the congregants. And you can imagine with the churches being closed what that's done to the support of the church. Now, the Rwandan Anglican Church has a model by which they have built commercial space. It began with the headquarter church, which built, 8-story building in Kigali?
Yes.
8-story building in Kigali that rents out for offices and that kind of thing. And the income from that building goes back to the church to fund church activity. The other thing that's very important is that in Rwanda, nothing is built on a loan. You build when you have income. And so sometimes, give you an example, the building in the church in Kigali, when I went there in 2019, was a hollow shell. It was finally finished in 23 because that's when they had the funds to build it. And so, but this is the church's way.
What he's trying to say, let's say for the petrol station,
Not very
and other
well.
buildings, there is no way that you can go to bank and get money because you don't have something to stand.
No collateral. Yeah.
You don't have them. So we are trying to build that sustainability through our efforts and the little thing. Let's say when we are building the petrol station, even sometimes you could go there and do the work with our hands. which are not technical. But we can when you go to bank, it means that you have sold that thing that you are doing. Because to get money to replace the money in the bank, it's very difficult.
Two things, Bishop. Would you let them know what the default rate is on loans in Rwanda?
Come again?
And how many loans don't get paid?
The loans?
Yeah, I think you told me it's about 40% of all loans that are made don't get paid.
Yes, because the houses are being sold.
So I'm not really sure you want to give a loan, right?
So in our area, where the diocese is, if you are getting a loan and you take there something, it's almost you have sold that thing, because they will not get money to pay and get your property back. So that's why we are doing slowly by slowly to make sure that things are done in such a way. Yes, my brother.
Just real quick, if church roofs are the thing that are causing the churches to shut down, is there a plan to replace these roofs? And if so, what's an average roof cost to replace?
Can I help with this?
Yes, yes.
It has been a problem. We knew it was a problem in 2019. That was the first thing that we addressed. One of the first things we addressed is the primary churches. We put metal rafters in and metal roofing. But the issue was the churches were growing so fast, and the government said, I know you're growing fast. We know we have this law, but you need to continue to grow. And then last year, a new minister came in and said, you know this law that we passed in 2018? Well, I'm going to make it my badge of honor. And so the things that the government looked the other way and basically said, okay, now we're in the position we're catching up. And the other thing that's happened is the roofs that were there, they may have been metal. This is a new development. They may have been metal and we may have replaced them, but now the government is saying that the headroom or the space from the floor to the ceiling has to be X. So we have a number of churches that we're going to have to go in and elevate the roof line to meet specs. Now, it didn't just occur. It's been in the law since 2018. It's just the government just didn't say, you know, it's an unfortunate situation in that you had a church that was growing in leaps and bounds. We went from 72,000 Christians in 2019 to almost 76,000 now. And by the way, of that, over 45% are under the age of 20. It is incredible what God is doing in Rwanda. And so, and I also want you to understand that the situation we're dealing with is not the government saying, Emmanuel, the Diocese of Chubango, you're the only person I'm looking at. No, they're looking at the Muslim churches, they're looking at the Roman Catholic churches, they're looking at the Presbyterian churches. They're looking at all the churches to say, these specifications now have to be met. And oh, by the way, I'm sorry. Just one quick thing about some of the quirks.
There is something which I want to tell him.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The price depends on the size and what is required to that particular church. Because they say that this church, let's say it should be 5 meters high.
Right.
And it was 4 meters. So which means you have to add on that. Then when you add it on, you change the roof, you get the new iron sheets, so it depends. But most of them, it is between 7 and 12 million.
So that's between 7 and 12, between 7,000 and 12,000.
Yeah,
That's for the total roof.
yes, for the,
Everything has to be imported because they're landlocked. Everything comes in.
Listen, if you've never been there, to watch them bring metal sheets rolled up and bound together, and they've got them loaded on a motorcycle or a bicycle. In Wintasha, when we built the church in Wintasha, they brought 20 strands of rebar, and the rebar was 20 feet long, so that is 20-foot lengths of rebar. They are folded over into threes, and they are draped over 2 bicycles, and they walked miles with this rebar to bring them to the construction site. It's interesting.
The good thing, he went there to carrying the pole, and when we finished the church, when he visited us again, we took him to that place. So he was very happy for that.
Actually, they say it's my church.
Say this. And they say, his church, his church. So, thank you so much. We are, is it time to go for
It's
the
time to
service?
go.
Yeah, okay.
How would they say it in Rwanda, Bishop? Akuzi.
Murakoze cyane.
Makuzi Chani. Thank you very
so
much.
Yeah, thank you
God
for
bless.
being with us. Thank you for listening.